we go. So, as I was saying, this is readings from the Hurricane Island Outward Bound School. My name is Jeffrey Jansen. If you want to know more about me, you can go to jeffjansen.info, jeffjansen.org, jeffjansen.us. Pretty much anything with Jeff Jansen. If you go to jeffjansen.com, tell him I said hi. He's a great guy. He's a pastor. He is an outstanding person. So we're going to get started, and here we go. So the first one, we're going to start with Self-Reliance. So, and this is by Walt Whitman. Now I know the secret of making the best persons. It is to grow in the open air and to eat and sleep with the earth. Walt Whitman. This one's by Henry David. So I can never say people's last names. I apologize. I know I'm going to get in trouble for that one, but sometimes people got really long last names, okay? So, if a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music he hears, however measured or far away. In other words, we're all not going to follow the pack. We're all not going to sit there and conform to what everybody thinks we should be. You know, that's the reason why we get into it with our kids. It's the reason why we want our kids to grow and be great, but we also want them to think for themselves. All right, I'm going to read two out of Challenge. This is by Henry David Thoreau. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundation under them. Henry David Thoreau. In other words, build your stuff, okay? Keep building no matter what you do. You know, if you have to do the foundation later, do it. But you need a foundation so it doesn't fall over. All right, this one's by Jack London. I would rather be ashes than dust. I'd rather my sparks should burn out and blaze than it should be stifled by dry rot. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom in the magnificent glow, than sleep and ferment as a planet. The proper function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. That's by Jack London. I want to read one more by Harriet Beecher Stowe. When you get into a tight place and everything goes against you till it seems as though you could not hang on 1 minute longer, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. In other words, don't give up. Don't give in. Don't let go. Because guess what? Right now, you're at your moment. You're going to get rescued. You're going to get saved. That one thing is going to come into your life that you need. Okay? And that's what they're talking about on that. Don't give up. You matter. You're important. You make all the difference in the world. And you should never forget that. All right, Wilderness. We're almost done. By David Bauer. Consider the 6 days of Genesis as a figure of speech for what has in fact been 4 billion years. On this scale, one day equals something like 666 million years. And thus, all day Monday until Tuesday noon, creation was busy getting the world going. Life began Tuesday noon, and the beautiful, organic, wholesome of it developed over the next 4 days. At 4 p.m. Saturday, the big reptiles came on. 5 hours later, when the redwoods appeared, there were no more big reptiles. At 3 minutes before midnight on the last day, man appeared. At 1/4 of a second before midnight, Christ arrived. At 1/14 of a second before midnight, the Industrial Revolution began. We are surrounded with people who think that what we have been doing for that 1/4 of a second can go on indefinitely. They are considered normal, but they are stark raving mad. By David Bauer. You get it? The one things that matter in life is kindness. The things that matter in life are not, hammering something out. I'm going to be a genius. You're not going to be remembered, but you can be remembered now. Who you are now is important. You're so busy trying to make a living that you forgot to have a life. You're so busy pushing every single day. But you want to know something? You got to set goals. You got to set, bring people along with you. The journeys can be very lonely, but you know what? Who's going to remember the journey when you're done? This is your journey. This is where you're going. George Dyson. The country was all waiting to be known again. Most discovery is rediscovered. The best discoveries are personal. anyway, and not the kind commissioned by queens and specific academics. The idea that Earth's landscapes have been used up in some way was, for me, peculiar. That's by George Dyson. Okay? In other words, there's nothing we haven't already done that we haven't done before in the past. I know everybody thinks that it's the latest, greatest. No. You know, if we were based on biology, like plant-based, instead of, electric, we would still be where we're at today. It's just we'd be using a different type of technology, Plants can actually rebuild or regrow, Half the stuff we get is from plants. All right, next two. This is education. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Let your affairs be as 2 or 3 and not 100 or 1,000. Instead of 1,000,000, count half a dozen and keep your accounts on your thumbnail. In the midst of this clapping sea of civilized life, such as the clouds and storms and quicksand and thousands and one items to be allowed for, that a man has to live, if he would not flounder or go to the bottom and not make his port at all, by dead reckoning, he must be great, calculated indeed who succeeds. Simplify, simplify. Instead of 3 meals a day, if it's necessary, eat but 1. Instead of 100 dishes, 5, and reduce other things in proportion. By H.D. Thoreau. All right. And many spoke unite to form the wheel, but it is the center hole that makes it useful. When we shape clay into an urn, it is the space within that makes it useful. Cut doors and windows in a room, the opening makes them useful. From the material comes profit, from the immaterial usefulness. She's out. Okay. That's the education one. There should be one more here that I gotta read from. And then I'll let everybody go to let you all know to have a great day. Almost done. I gotta find it. Almost found it. Give me a minute. There it is. Okay, leadership. And it's one of my favorite ones by Theodore Roosevelt. I circled this one January 2008, but remember, I've been reading this book since 1997. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out where the strong man stumbled or where the doer of great deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, and who, while daring greatly, spends himself into a worthy cause, so this place may not be among those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. That one's by Theodore Roosevelt. It just means, you could be an audience watching, you could be watching a basketball game, baseball game, whatever. But you know what matters most are those that are playing the game. The captains of industry, we look at them, but we wouldn't have jobs for them. So in other words, we're sitting there watching the arena. We're not in the arena. We're watching the sport, but we're not playing the sport. The true heroes are the ones that are in there playing, and we're watching. Now, they wouldn't be anything if we weren't watching, but they'd still be participating. All right. This one's by Robert F. Kennedy. You are living in one of the rarest moments in history, a time when all around us the old order of things is crumbling and a new world society is painfully struggling to take shape. If you shrink from this struggle and the many difficulties, you will betray the trust which your own position forces upon you. You live in the most privileged nation on earth. You are the most privileged citizens of that privileged nation, for you have been given the opportunity to lead. You can use your enormous influence and opportunity to seek purely private pleasure and gain, but history will judge you, and as the years pass, you will ultimately judge yourself, and the extent to which you have used your gifts and talents to lighten and enrich the lives of your fellow man. In your hands lies the fortune of your world and fulfillment of the best qualities of your own spirit. And that's by John F. Kennedy. Okay? Now, those are the two things, and tomorrow I'll do more. But I want you guys to all know that no matter what goes on in life, you matter. There's a reason why we do what we do. There's a reason why we push the limits of our boundaries. There is a reason why all this comes about. And I want each and every one of you to know to never give up, never give in, that you matter. That what you do in business, what you do in industry, okay? It's not about what you wear. It's not about how you look. It's about your actions and what you're doing to get farther ahead, to help your family, to help your friends, to help your community. If you only do things to help yourself, one day there's going to be no one to help you. Always remember, if somebody says, well, you're only in it to get something, tell them I am. Because the more I can help you, the more one day I will get in return. Maybe not from you, but because of what I did, others will be doing the same thing. Because if I can do it, that means others can do it. And last, I'll read you this one. A winner's promise. I will have confidence in myself and put my trust in God. I will have courage for the big things and patience for the small things. I will admit mistakes, learn forgiveness, and go on with the game. I will not call myself a loser or failure until I've failed to try. I will set sound, worthy goals and work for them one day at a time and one play at a time. I will do what I can and not worry about the scoring, winning, and making this big plays, because just doing my best and playing fair is what really makes me a winner, both in life and on the playing field. Don't give up. Keep pushing. And if you do it every single day, you will get better and you will win. But the whole idea is you can't just go in thinking you're going to win. You got to practice. You got to learn. You got to learn from your mistakes. 2 of the worst things that happen in your life. 1, we fail. 2, we fail to try. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. Look forward to seeing everybody soon. Make sure to comment below. Have a great day. And I'd like to hear from each and every one of you. Bye now.